Hello, this is Dread from Epic Builds, and in today's video topic, it's going to be a little bit different as I'm going to be trying something new. I am starting a new kind of series-ish kind of thing where I go over other people's builds that they've played that are mine. It's just like a different version. I'm gonna call it like the Hall of Epoch or whatever, the Hall of Fame. I don't know what I'm gonna name it yet, but I like the idea. And the reason why I'm doing this is because recently there was a viewer of mine who decided to take the Abyssal Echoes VK that I posted a few days ago and pretty much win the hardcore vision race tourney with it. So we actually have AlmostPI here. Go ahead, AlmostPI. You can introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Almost Pie. I just play a bunch of video games and love ARPGs and Last Epoch and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
So first question is how was your whole weekend tourney? Like how was it? Because I know you're dead now.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was way better than expected, to be honest. I didn't get to play on Saturday, unfortunately, because I had family stuff. So it was about a 36, 40 hour push, which is still a lot. But day one leveling went well. I leveled this with hammer throw personally, just because the the damage nodes at the start of Void Knight, I don't even have to respec them because they work for throwing in spells. And then switched over to the Abyssal Echoes build after that, and so that went pretty well.
Yeah, I found Hammer Throw or a Holy Trail are good enough, but yeah, definitely Hammer Throw is much better if you do Void Knight. So was there what are the biggest differences between my version and your version? Like what did you do differently, especially for your arena push?
Yeah, so the biggest difference is just a shield, because I was going to be playing in hardcore, and so that chops off a lot of the dual wield nodes, and then we reassign those and pick up some of the free block nodes that Sentinel gets access to for some good defense. And then for arena specifically, uh, we go back to the cooldown version of Abyssal Echoes, and that's mostly for safety. I still prefer the no cooldown for just general monolith and timeline play, and also for killing Orbis and bossing and story bosses and whatnot. But to do that effectively, you then have to use volatile reversal for your mana and also for the damage amp. Um, and that's just too dangerous to do in high arena waves, or for me on Jewelra personally. You could probably do it with more practice though.
Yeah, I saw you got a Ravenous Void. What about that?
Yeah, that was I was in shock, honestly. I was farming my atrophy gloves, which I think are still great for the build, especially with legendary potential now. It's because that's a great system. Um, but Ravenous Void just takes the build kind of to the next level. It's already super strong with its leech, and for that it gets from Void Knight and Anomaly. And so Ravenous Void gives you that one-shot protection and just that extra bit of tankiness for you to almost survive anything really. I think it did. I have to go double check the VOD, but I think it did tank a T4 Jewel Row wave during that attempt.
Yeah, I didn't
The other,
originally. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the other change. I don't remember if you had Siphon of Anguish in the video,
I don't
but
believe
I
I did.
that provides a lot of free leech rate, especially if you get a well rolled one, not even LP, an extra leech for the build, and is a very easy upgrade to get, even just as you get into Monolith, killing your first Orbis.
Yeah, I actually didn't have a Ravenous Void in my version because I didn't want to expect newer players to have one. But in a weekend tourney, all's fair in love and war.
Oh yeah, if it's on the ground, you pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. So, other than that, so how was the overall like early monolith progression into actual, into the end game and powered monoliths? Because I know that I didn't play the build in that regard, like I didn't level the build. How did that feel?
So I swapped to Abyssal Echoes around 40, 45. You don't have Anomaly yet at that point because I go and grab the sigils from Paladin, and that's great. The scaling on the just base at the dot, even because you're still the cooldown version at that point because you don't have enough points, but it kills the Matriarch and Patriarch in like 30 seconds, and it just breezes through the rest of the story. Lagon is a little bit weird with the hitbox on the Devouring Orbs I found, but then you get into Monos, and once you get your no cooldown, it feels super smooth. The only caveat I would say is just getting used to managing the mana and the reversals.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem I found with the build when I was playing it. So for the actual arena push itself, what were the mobs that you were scared of the most?
Uh, Personally, Ice Elementals, because they're what killed most of my characters previously. I haven't done a lot of arena pushes, but Ice Elementals are terrifying, just the amount of projectiles they put on the screen. As I got through the arena push and was learning about the arena more as I went, Void Thralls are terrifying. They just charge you and your health bar goes away. So they would probably be at the top of my list. A lot of the big ones like Matron and like the Siege Golems and whatnot, they're slow enough where with this Devouring Orb version you can kind of just kite them and outplay them, because they're AI, they'll just follow you. But the Void Thralls and some of the guys that jump on you, I had a very close call with an Eber Mammoth
Yeah.
that I'm surprised I survived.
So how did the character die? Obviously I know, but who's watching does not.
So we got a little bit tired because the push was going, complaining of my success was going longer than I expected, and I was starting to make a few mistakes. So I didn't want to die to a stupid death. So we went up to try T4 Julra, which is going well. I wasn't sure the build could do it. It feels a little bit low on DPS without investment. I would definitely say if you're going to farm T4 Julra with this, try to keep building up the gear, get more exalted vitality and whatnot for more damage and flat damage and scaling. But I found out today there's a bug with volatile reversal where it tries to take you forward in time if you use your time warp with Jorah, and I flew across the screen. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, it turns out, turns out they're both in the same cell, even though they're supposed to be in different times. It's kind of
Yeah,
funny.
timey wimey, all that. That's what
Overall,
you get for being a void.
what made you choose this build over like everything else you could obviously run as a Void Knight?
Personally, I like dot builds just as my play style. I love playing Essence Drain. I really love Ignite when I play Path of Exile and stuff like that. So when I was looking to play in the Void Knight tournament, I was drawn towards Abyssal Echoes. And so the playstyle just it fit what I wanted to do and was very smooth for the leveling and progression, and that was what I was most concerned about.
Cool.
Because like
No, continue.
I was gonna say your early A bomb and stuff, because I forgot to mention this. Like my first A bomb kill during my practice run as well was a minute after you, and that's a tanky boss for a lot of early builds. My first you can get Orbis down to 30 seconds during before you even get to empowered. Uh, as long as you get the rotation down with the volatile, it can do a lot of burst damage.
Yeah, all right. Any other like thoughts? Anything else you'd want to mention about the build before we end it here?
It has a lot of flexibility with the idols. The your four core grand idols are the time rot or not time rot, sorry, abyssal decay duration and void damage. I actually run one with a time rot that I happen to get, and I kind of like it for a little bit extra dot for helping clear monoliths. But then your extra slots, you can easily fill it with resists. If you're running the cooldown abyssal echoes, I would definitely run an inspiration idol. Otherwise, I think just the void damage on echo 2x2s or void damage on devouring orb cast are both very strong with a void damage over time suffix.
Yeah,
We
I
have a lot of
noticed those
flexibility
were
there.
pretty OP.
They're very wide ranging of roles, but if you get a good one, they're very strong.
All right. Well, with all that being said, I don't know if you've won or not at this point. I'm going to assume you've probably won the hardcore tournament, getting to 500 waves and all. And the closest,
Fingers
soft
crossed.
core one is like 300. So at the current of making this video, it has like a few more hours than the tournament. But you'll probably know whoever's watching this because I'll update the title accordingly. But yeah, for right now, yeah, he's the winner so far. So congrats to your new VK King here. All the
Thank you very
salt for the
much.
Ravenous Void, of course. But you know
Oh
what?
yeah.
You know what I have to say for that? Just get good. All right. Thank you for coming on, Almost Pie. Thank you for taking my build
Yeah,
and
thank you.
pushing it because trust me, it means a lot to me because I've been spending like 2 years on this kind of stuff, and it's nice to see people actually take my stuff and run with it because I normally don't have time to push builds like this because obviously
Yeah.
I don't have time with my busy schedule of late. So it's nice to see someone actually take my work and just improve it and make it better. And then of course,
Yeah. I've
fucking
definitely
win a
liked your build
goddamn
since.
tourney with it.
Yeah, I've definitely liked your build since I came back to the game. So
Uh,
8.4 has been amazing.
Thank you
So
so
props
much.
props to EHG as well for this
Yeah,
patch.
this patch has been amazing, except for obviously it's some Jewelra bugs.
It's beta. That
Yeah,
happens.
I know. I don't really care. But yeah,
I've had worse deaths.
oh no, I mean in general with like how she like fucks over melee builds.
Oh yeah, yeah, that could be better.
Yeah. With all that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Almost Pie, for coming on. Have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you're at, and bye.